Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here, and really thank you to Nature's Own, who's celebrating a very special partnership that they have with Make-A-Wish right now. This is their Slice of Hope campaign. We're kicking it off. In doing so, we are having this cooking class where we're celebrating all the work that they're doing with Make-A-Wish, which is always granting wishes to critically ill kiddos. So thank you all so much. We're gonna start with some apple pies. These are one of my very favorite things to make because they're quick and they're easy and they're delicious and everybody can make them. You can peel and core your apples if you want to. You can also not. Today, I'm not going to. I'm using a very tart apple, the Granny Smith. If you wanna use like a Honey Crisp, you can also do that. It's whatever you want. And we're just gonna kind of cheek these little bad boys and dice them. The smaller you dice them, the quicker they're gonna cook, the quicker you're gonna have delicious apple pies ready to go and ready to be delicious for you and your family. Okay, we just cube it, right? We're gonna do 2 of these little bad boys. My favorite type of pie. Well, apple pie is probably number 1, followed by, I love raisin pie or strawberry rhubarb pie. Raisin pie is not something you see that much anymore, right? I don't know why people don't like raisins, but they just don't like them that much. Turn on your pan and you're gonna melt all the butter. So in the recipe, it calls for apple pie spice, which is really just like cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. If you don't like any of those, feel free to use whatever spices you do like. Cinnamon is, of course, always great in apple pie and things, but you could put cloves in, you could put vanilla in, it would be great. You could put cardamom, that would be delicious in there as well. So you can get creative with it. If you don't have apple pie spice, no big deal, just kind of make what you want. Okay, I'm just scooping out some of the butter because I'm gonna use that on my pies when I bake them. So I'm scooping out a little bit and I'll leave about 3 tablespoons in to saute the apples with. Butter, apples, brown sugar in. Apple pie spice. If you don't have the apple pie spice, what are we doing? Substituting it. We do what we want. Okay, give that all a little stir and it's gonna cook until these are tender. The greatest part about this recipe is that you don't have to make a pie crust. All you have to do is roll out your bread. And Nature's Own bread is incredibly soft, right? It's super soft, super tender, super delightful. And so what I like to do is just roll the bread out. That's crazy, right? We have our bread. Because it's so soft, it makes a beautiful, delightful pie crust. You're just gonna give it a little roll with your rolling pin. That's gonna become our crust. We just like give it a little bit of a flattening effect so that you have more surface area. Any flavor of apple will work that cooks. You know, some apples are really just eating apples. They're not for cooking. They become really mealy when you cook them. That'd be the only apple I would say is not great in this recipe. So apples are bubbling away in our kind of caramel, cinnamon, apple-y sauce. And we're just waiting for these little angels to get tender before we add in that cornstarch slurry. And the cornstarch slurry will make it so it's like a little ooey, a little gooey, a little yummy. I don't have the recipe in front of me, but I'm gonna add a little lemon juice because cornstarch needs lemon juice to kind of thicken. So if it didn't call for it and the recipe doesn't call for it, I just added a little extra flavor. Ta-da! Our apples are cooking in this gorgeous sauce and now we're gonna make that slurry. So we just make a little slurry. The reason why you don't just throw that cornstarch in is it'll be like lumpy. Okay, look at how yummy that's looking. So we added that brown sugar because Granny Smith apples are pretty tart, and this doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. If you wanted them to be a little bit sweeter, you could put a little bit more sugar in them. But if your apples themselves were already really sweet, you could probably pull back on that brown sugar too. Kind of, again, do what you want. This is just a guiding recipe. So I'm gonna turn these apples off now and let them cool just a little bit. And that's all you do to the filling. We take our bread, right? And we're just gonna take some of the filling and you're gonna put it in there. So now, I dip my tines into a little bit of water and I'll kind of wet the edges just a little bit so the bread will stick together. I'm using the butter bread because it is so tender, but then also because it's just like kind of buttery and delicious. And then you just crimp. Just crimp that edge down, right? Crimp, crimp, crimp the edge down. If a little bit of the ooh comes out, that's even better, right? It just helps it hold together. Crimp, get if there's any, there. And that's it. It goes onto your tray, onto the next one. So the Make-A-Wish Slice of Hope campaign that Nature's Own is doing, they have promised to give $500,000 to help support the work of Make-A-Wish, right? And Make-A-Wish is so incredible because they know that these wishes can help give kids the emotional and physical strength that they need to kind of like fight the critical illnesses that they're facing. It also gives like a sense of normalcy and joy to the family. It's for such an incredible cause. It's very, very important, right? And that's all we do. That's the whole process for making these. We brush them with a little bit of butter and bake those bad boys, and we have these gorgeous little hand pies that anybody can make, and they taste delicious. I'm gonna throw these into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And they'll come out golden brown, and we'll put a little icing on them. All right, let's move on to our soup. Pan goes on. Start by sauteing our butter, and then we're gonna go in with all of our vegetables. I have an onion, celery, and then roasted red pepper. And then to hurry the process along, throw your lid back on it, and it kind of creates like a little steam bath in there, and it'll help all that stuff soften down even quicker. Okay, now, the next thing we do, can you see how kind of tender they're starting to get? The onions will start to get a little translucent. And then as soon as they start to get a little translucent, we're just gonna add in a pinch of salt. Not too much, because typically your stock will be seasoned already, right? The other thing I'm gonna add in now that they're starting to get tender is I'm gonna add in those Italian seasoning, and then I'm gonna add in red pepper flakes. If you don't want it spicy, just leave the red pepper flakes out. Like if you're making this for kiddos and they hate spicy stuff, leave that out, okay? But I am not making it for kiddos, and I like a little heat. We're just blooming that in some of the oil, and that's kind of waking up those flavors and the seasonings. In a second, I'm gonna add in the flour. So you can kind of see how my roasted red peppers look a little juicy. I'm gonna add in my flour before I add those in because they're a little juicy. Because that'll make it kind of like wet. But I wanna brown this flour up. So whenever you're making a soup, you can put in a couple tablespoons of flour. Every tablespoon of flour will thicken 1 cup of liquid, but we also have tomatoes, and tomatoes are naturally thick themselves when they blend up. So we're using only a couple tablespoons of that flour. And we're just gonna cook that until we get rid of that raw flour flavor. You'll see it start to kind of stick along the edges, right? The flour. And then we add in our kind of tomatoes and those roasted red peppers that are saucy. Okay, now, ooh. It already smells so good. Anybody who's cooking along, hopefully your house also smells delicious. Red peppers go in, and they're already tender. And then our tomatoes go in. This is just 2 cans of fire roasted tomatoes. I like the fire roasted because they give you kind of that like smoky flavor. But you can use whatever tomatoes you have on hand. I've even made this using tomato sauce. For kind of like a tomato basil soup. You can always use like a tomato sauce, like a tomato basil marinara, and then add some cream and some extra vegetables and things like that, if you wanted to. Okay, so now that is kind of cooked and thick and nothing is sticking to the bottom anymore, we can add in our stock. This is 4 cups, so we're just gonna see. We're gonna let this simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna stir the cream in after we blend. You don't put the cream in now because, again, if it gets too hot, it can break and you can end up with a curdled soup, especially because there's so much acid in tomatoes, right? So we're just gonna let it hang for a second. While that's going on, let's make icing for our pies and actually check our pies. So freaking cute. You can see they're looking all cute, but we need an icing on top of them. So we have powdered sugar here. This is sweet tea powder. It's just like instant tea. And just give that a stir until all the powdered sugar dissolves. As soon as we put the icing on, it covers everything. But then I just drizzle it back and forth. How pretty. Okay, so now we can let those cool so that they're not scalding hot before we eat them. And we can move on to our double-decker grilled cheese. The thing that I love about it is the piece in the center, the bread in the center. I have my cheeses and my mayonnaise. Now, I am a mayonnaise person on the outside of grilled cheese sandwiches because It's an oil that has like a little bit of tang. I think it spreads very, very easily, even more easily than butter, I think. And so that's what I use. But if you want to use butter, you can. Butter just, for me, gets a little, it gets brown so fast in the pan. So I just go on with a little bit of mayonnaise on the outside. You can use whatever you want. This in there. And so for your centerpiece, you have to toast that one piece of bread first, right? Before you put it in the center. So while that's toasting, then we put the mayonnaise on the outside of our other bread. That'll be the outside piece. So this doesn't get too messy right now. I put that piece like that. Now, cheeses. This is my Fontina, this is my Gruyère, grated Gruyère, and this is my mozzarella. I love mozzarella in slices, these big slices, because that's what gives us that crazy big cheese pull. Woo! Okay, so that's what's gonna be on the inside. And because it's gonna be hot, that will also immediately start to melt the cheese on the interior, because we're doing the double decker. So if you do that extra step and griddle, it is gonna allow you to have like extra cheesy, delicious grilled cheese sandwich. So this is gonna be the bottom of our bread because I put the mayonnaise on it. And the way that I get mayonnaise not all over my cutting board is I put it against the other bread like that, and then I build, okay? So let's go 1.5 pieces. Okay, let's just do 2 pieces, right? Now we take our hot bread, gorgeous on both sides, and we put that on. Now I'm gonna put some of the slices of Fontina, which is a super creamy cheese. I'm gonna go Fontina. And then I'm also gonna go with a little bit of this grated Gruyère. What? Are you feeling excited? You know what, guys? I might put a little grated Gruyère underneath there too, just a little bit, you know? This is a decadent grilled cheese. Now, this, you know, the mayonnaise is on the bottom, right? We go right into the pan with that. You hear that sizzle? And now this piece goes onto the top, and we just spread it on the top. What? And that's how you end up with not mayonnaise all over your counter. Now, turn your heat down, right? Because there's a lot of layers to this, and it needs time to melt, okay? So if you feel like your pan is getting too hot, pull it off. I'm gonna go all the way down to low, and then if you want to, you can always give this a little press, right? But what I like is if you take this and don't press it too much, it'll kind of trap some of the heat inside of there. Let's give this a little flip. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Woo-hoo! Oh yes, that's gonna be delicious. Okay, let's blend some soup. Ready? I'm gonna go low so it doesn't go everywhere. Immersion blender just goes in. Let's see. All right, so now I'm gonna let my soup reduce down just a little bit, and then I'm gonna add my cream to it. You can see there's still a little texture there, right? You're getting ready to be dazzled. Okay, I'm gonna put the cream in. It's about a cup. We just kind of pour that in. And then when you stir, you're gonna see it's gonna change it into like kind of a lighter orange color, right? A little bit creamier. Okay, so I'm gonna just dish myself up a little bit of this. Let's look at this grilled cheese. So I think the real learning thing about this grilled cheese is that you wanna use sliced and grated, but then also you want to griddle that piece of bread on the inside. Okay, so this is this side. Are you ready to see the other side? Are you like, oh no, she might have burnt it? Did I? Definitely not. Hello. You're just gonna give this a little diagonal, right? Look at that ooh, look at that goo. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, that gets dunked in there. I'm gonna get into trouble with that. You guys look, here's some of the pull that we're looking for, right? That's some of it is right there. Ooey gooey cheese pull with that soft bread that's griddled to perfection. Ooh, okay. That is what grilled cheese is supposed to be. You're gonna love it. Okay, so sweet tea, apple pie. Look, the bottoms get golden. Our icing set up. You can kind of see that in the inside, it's an apple pie, right? It's just a little apple pie in there. And we didn't have to make a pie crust. Oh my gosh, you guys. The butter bread is still so tender, and it's still so soft. but it creates this like nice and crunchy, gorgeous texture on the outside. And then our apples are tart and sweet, and it's an easy recipe that always hits every single time. Thank you so much, Nature's Own, for celebrating with us your special partnership with Make-A-Wish. It's such a delight to be able to be part of this Slice of Hope campaign. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate all of you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.